We achieve this by offering educational aviation seminars and tours to high school students. Our media channel, we provide our audience with relevant information on aviation filled through panel discussions, interviews with aviation professionals. We offer high school students the Junior Aviator course to broaden their understanding of aviation as well as increase their chances of getting into top aviation schools. We also offer Aviation Refresher and Advanced course on aviation topics. All our courses are carefully designed by aviation experts with international aviation qualifications in a wide range of aviation disciplines. The courses are designed to equip aviators with modern and relevant skills applicable in today's aviation world. Inspire, equip, empower, flight wings.
Hello, everyone. A pleasant good evening, everyone. For time zone sake, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to the Big Sky, a show where we get to explore the unlimited possibilities of aviation with your host Isaac Yummy and my co-host Miss Gugu. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. I missed you from last week. The last time I saw you was like last
I'm
Thursday.
sure about that. But here I am. So let's do this.
Awesome. Welcome everyone to our viewers today who's just joined us. If you're joining us for the first time, basically you're watching a show called Big Sky, where we get to explore the unlimited possibilities of aviation, proudly brought to you by Flight Wings Aviation, which is an educational consultancy where we live by three words in our mantra, which is inspire, equip, and empower. Everything all about aviation out here. So today we're going to be interviewing another aviator, an aspiring one, or the one that's in the pipeline of becoming one. And without wasting much time, we're gonna call upon Miss Kusaseka Tivani. How are you,
Hello,
ma'am?
hello. I'm getting you.
Awesome. I'm very
Hi.
quite excited
Hi,
to
Gugu. How are you?
have you today.
Excited to be here. Very excited to be here.
Awesome. One of the things that we actually do here is we have so many young people, and I'm always excited whenever I see young people do great things. So I want to say kudos to you for being young and being on a path where already you are destined for greatness. To
Thank you.
me,
Thank you so much.
that's a remarkable thing when I see a young person work towards their dream. So, to our viewers, like always, all the time, we encourage engagement, questions, anything that you want to ask. Basically, feel free to use our comment section. Tell us where you're watching us from. That would be nice. I mean, this girl could be international. I mean, Kusaseka, I think you are international. So tell us where you're joining us from, the viewers. And if you haven't done the regular to like, subscribe, share this link, please do so. Please do so. And you never know who will be blessed and who will be inspired by this link. So we are gonna just jump right into today's interview. Madam, how are you again? A pleasant
I'm
good
good.
evening.
I'm good.
I believe you're joining us from SA, so that's
Yes.
evening. And I am
Yes.
currently based in North Cyprus right now, and it's evening as well. So, yes, so like let's break the ice a little bit, say hi to the viewers and briefly say hi. I mean, without really emptying much, just say hi, make yourself known before we dive into some serious stuff.
Yes.
There's your platform.
Hello, everyone. I am Kusaseka Tivani. I'm 19 years old, a student pilot, actually currently pursuing my private pilot license. I think one thing I could say about myself is I have a nonprofit organization, and yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I was
that's
about
all
to
I could
stop you
say.
right there. I was about to even put the brakes. I'm like, don't empty the interview yet now.
Yeah,
But
at
it's
the
all right. It's all right,
beginning.
G. Right, you stopped yourself there already, so it's all good. It's all good. So already you mentioned who you are. You're 19 years old, working towards being a pilot and everything. Is there anything apart from your bio that you feel describes you best? I mean, with aviation or without aviation, something that you feel that's not on the bio, but it actually speaks of you in some certain level of great volume. We're still talking about you as well. I mean, briefly getting to know you. I mean,
I think yeah. I'm very musical. I actually have a voice. I'm currently learning the guitar. So I think music is also a very big part of my life. I am from a family with three sisters, and my mat, besides being a pilot, is a very big aspect of my life.
awesome.
Okay,
I
so I
actually
actually have
stumbled.
a question. I
I
have
was
a
saying that.
question before we proceed.
Yes.
Okay, what does your name mean? Hello?
Yeah, we lost her for a sec, but she back, I guess.
Yes. Yes, it means to be beautiful in Tsonga. That's what it
Ah,
means.
how nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, I did not know that was Tonga, but that's great. Awesome.
Thank you. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say I actually stumbled across a video of you singing. I mean, yeah, that was great. I mean, I was like, okay, pilot, singer, that's great.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Google, take us away. Take us away.
All right, so our first question to you, besides the one that we've asked so far, is we're trying to bring awareness about the aviation industry and specifically having you as a student pilot. Would you briefly take us through your educational journey before you started the pilot training one?
Okay. Well, I first, matriculated from Crawford College, Pretoria. And before I joined flight school, I, I mentioned before that with uni grade 6, and I did voice until grade 7, which I think was also a big part of the educational part. And because I've just started aviation, it's the first thing that I've kind of jumped into. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And over to you, Isaac.
Okay. Um. 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 I feel like you. I feel like you're fresh out of books. I mean, talking about how you come from matriculation and then you jump right into your journey that you're in right now. But let's talk about how we came about that decision of you deciding this. I mean, how did you get to that decision that this is what I want to become, or this is the pathway I want to take?
We lost her.
Did we lose her?
Yeah.
Quite a spontaneous decision when I was in grade 11. And, grade 11, the school curriculum here, you have to do job shadowing and so forth. So the plan from my side, ever since I was young, was to go to medical school. And so I went to job shadow a doctor, and I came back completely disappointed and discouraged because it's a great career, but it just wasn't for me. And I was kind of, under pressure because everyone knew where they were going, everyone knew what career path they were going to take after school. So, what happened was that we were in a flight, and while we were going off the flight, my sister suggested, and she's like, why don't you become a pilot? And in my mind, I just thought, that has to be the craziest thing that you've ever said. But you know what? I'm just going to research it because I don't have any any idea what I'm going to do. And so when I began researching and speaking to South African pilots and just getting to know the industry, I got to know that it is a lot closer to, my personality. It's a lot closer to the kind of environment that I want to be in. And yeah, it was really exciting to know that a decision that I almost kind of just brushed off was what would kind of be my drive and my passion for this career path.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Without throwing much shade to the medical field. I mean, but I get it. I mean, it's not for everyone. I think
Yeah,
we
it's not for
all,
everyone.
yeah, I think we all had a rude awakening. At some point, I wanted to be a doctor, and yeah, I'm not gonna say what I am now, but I mean, I get your point very vividly. I get your point very clearly, and
Yeah.
and but as well, the technicalities of being of studying flight school and everything. One of the things that we really hear about when it comes to flight schools is how very expensive they are. Like one of the guests, or I think few guests that we had on the show, spoke about how they cultivated this idea to a point whereby they notified their parents early on so that they could get them ready or some sort. So you made this decision. How did this go about in terms of how you were gonna the funding and everything, like what was going through your head? I mean, because that's a reason why I don't want to say some of us, but some people kind of hesitate to think that way, because I've heard that fly schools cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how did you navigate, or how did you circumvent that financial aspect of it with your parents or
Well,
with your guardians?
yeah, well, I think I would have taken.
We, oh,
I took this once I started researching different schools in South Africa. I, is to, I did a hesitant license. She definitely did have a plan way before when I actually told her that I wanted to become a pilot. And so um, becoming a private pilot is a lot cheaper than doing your commercial pilot license. So for my commercial, I am really hoping to look for bursaries because a lot of bursaries, they require you to have a private pilot license. So hopefully with that, it will work out. But even if it doesn't, my mom has assured me that, she has really planned this out and it's not just, it wasn't just sprung on her. Like I prepared I prepared her, to tell her that this is what is my decision. And I also think choosing a cost effective school, because there are some schools that are quite expensive, about triple the price that you would pay at another school. So I think it was also just research of choosing a school that is, cost effective, cost friendly. Yeah.
oh, awesome. Yeah, that's interesting. And the reason why I asked you this question is because basically, as I say, I don't want to say it's a misconception, but it's something that people do think about when they want to dream. Dream. I mean, they'll be thinking, is this dream very expensive to think about? And then certain people don't actually think that way. And as Flight Wings Aviation, basically, we are standing in the way of hurdles that actually stop people from becoming the best they could be, especially in the aviation industry. So for us, it's really refreshing to know that flight schools is a way to attain it. It's not necessarily this one way you're gonna achieve this incredible goal. So
Yeah.
so yeah, thank you so much for clarifying that. I mean, yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, Sassy. So I'd like to know which institution, which flight school is facilitating the training?
I'm at Eagle Air at
Oh,
Vonderboom
you're in
Airport.
UA.
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay, cool. So, briefly tell us what are the requirements for one to be enrolled as a student pilot in South Africa? Because I know like requirements vary from each and every civil aviation authority of nation to nation. So briefly take us through
Yeah.
what are the requirements for South African civil aviation authority?
Well, the requirements to start a private pilot license is that you have to be 17 years of age. So, if you want to start before you finish high school, that's also an option. and,
Wow.
and best thing to do is to find your school first before doing any other steps. So find, research, go to open days, find a school that is, suitable for you and that you would like to pursue your license at. And after finding that school, they will even tell you that you need to get your student pilot license. So your student pilot license is not technically any exams or anything. It's so in order to see that your x-rays come through to the school and you have to do a full medical. It's quite, I think for me it was kind of like a weird process because it's like two different doctors, and so you have to do a medical with the register. And then after that, it really just depends on each school. But after that, it's in terms of buying your pilot kit, meeting your instructor. But, as the law states, you have to be 17 years of age, having a class 1 or class 2 medical. And yeah, and then the rest is how your school administrates.
Okay, thank you so much. So you mentioned about the pilot kit. May I please know what's in your kit? What does your kit contain?
Well, did all my textbooks that I needed for private pilot license. Although with Eagle Air, they are online. So you can choose whether you want books or you want online books. And then in the pilot kit, it is your pilot logbook, it's your air law, the South African air law. It's like a little red book. It's the South African air law book. It is a few tools that you would need when it comes to flight planning and mapping and so forth. And it comes with all the textbooks, and then you'd also have to buy your headphones, which doesn't come with the kit, but is also needed, to when you start flying.
Oh, awesome! What kind of headphones are these? Yeah, I'm kidding.
Uh,
Um, um, so the kit is used during your course of the program, or you constantly upgrade it? Like, what happens?
your kit is used constantly through the program. You don't have to get a new kit. What you would need to get is new textbooks with each license or rating that you do. But the kit, the headphones, everything you can still keep. You don't have to keep on buying and buying because it is quite expensive. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
everything
interesting.
about aviation is very expensive. Like aviation is an expensive industry. So
Yeah.
you really need to invest, you need to get the most out of it. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
my other question, like following up the student pilot license one, what does it take for one to then eventually become licensed and qualified? Like from where you
Well,
are right now, what's left for you? Like what does it take and everything?
yeah. Um, uh, f- well, it really depends, but for me, my next step
Hmm.
after getting my private pilot license would be to get my night rating, which, allows you to fly in the evening, and my commercial pilot license. I think for most student pilots, that's where they're going. So, for me, it would to get my commercial pilot license.
Okay, awesome. So are you looking forward to working for a private airline or you're for the commercial airline?
I actually have been weighing the pros and cons.
Yeah.
You look at pilots, especially in South
Mhm,
Africa, there's so many pilots that actually, show their journey and their work
mhm.
space and everything. An airline, I would love to work there for a few years experience. Um, yeah, but a private airline is really, I think that would be the goal for me.
Okay, cool.
A private airline. Huh, interesting. What's the difference? What's the difference between a private and a public one? What's the difference? And what are the pros and cons of? Apart from the
Well,
money, of course. I mean,
yeah, I think a private airline, I think a few would be ExecuJet or King Air. And, obviously the planes that you fly smaller than, commercial flights that you'd find at an international airport. So I think, it's the destination for a private airline. The destinations are closer, far, and as extended is more demanding. The traveling is more. And, they both give off the same experience. It's just a preference. But yeah, the flight hours is the same. It's just flying, different categories of plane.
Are we is still here?
I think
She's still here, right?
yeah.
Um, Google had asked a question. I think she said that what's next, and then you mentioned how you want to be and a pilot who flies private airlines, preferably. I mean, but if it then does happen, either way, it's fine. So
Yeah.
like what's the experience of what you've done so far, and what are the what are the highs and what are the lows of all of this? I mean, it's all roses now. I mean, no lie,
Yeah.
you look good in the suit, you look good in the uniform and all of these things. I mean, but
Thank
then
you.
let's go deeper a little bit. Like what's the highs and the lows of whilst you're studying like this? Like, what are the highs and
Mm,
what are the lows? What are some of these? Not trying to dwell on the difficulties, but I really want us to explain this because other young people are watching this, and our main tag is basically young people, and we wouldn't want to have them with this misconception like, oh, you just choose this and it's all rosy. But want to hear something that's like, what are the challenges that you face, and as well the solutions. I mean, that would be great if you can share those. Or if you're still
yeah.
figuring things out, you can. It's okay to say you're still figuring things out as well. I mean, nobody knows
Yeah.
every single thing, but share the highs and the lows of currently
Yeah.
studying your journey right now.
Yes. I think as I've started, I did I won't lie, I did go flying, and the theory will just be a passing thing. And I was very wrong. Um, the theory is quite it's it's not difficult. When you write, you choose your own exam date, like you choose when you write and so forth. But I find that, harder for me because, every institution will tell you that the first time you pass your first exam, you have 18 months to write. And if you're not done in those 18 months, your exams relapse and you have to start again. So I think that is kind of the big pressure around theory. You don't want to enjoy flying too much and then leaving your exams for like the last 4 months and then you have to start again. Because the exams are not, that difficult, but the theory is it's quite a lot. It's quite a lot to get everything into it. And I think also if I were to give advice to anyone that is, looking into studying, I think what my mentor told me is that when you study, you just need to study your exams and you need to finish because flying it really is, I don't want to say it's fun, but
It
it's the
is
best
fun.
part of the, yeah, it's it is fun. It is fun. What am I saying? It's the best part. So I think I made the mistake of enjoying flying too much and kind of like, I'll do my exams and everything, but it's very important to prioritize the theory as much as the flying so that you don't have to, start again. And so don't take the theory lightly. don't take the theory lightly. And yeah, when you get to fly, enjoy that part as much as possible before you have to do theory again.
Okay, young people,
Definitely.
you're hearing the theory part. You need to take your theory serious. What do you
Seriously,
mean?
Sounds like
seriously.
flight.
Can, can you elaborate a little bit? I mean, what do you mean when you say theory? I mean, for the sake of our new viewers and for the young people, like, what do you mean? Like, elaborate a little bit on that.
Hi, sorry, I just got cut off there. Um, so basically, the theory part is writing your exams. So I think I could give an example of a few exams that I've done, like air law. That is an exam. So there are 7 exams. There are 7 exams that you have to write. And you'd ask yourself, like, oh, I'm flying a plane, like what theory is there? Surprisingly, there's a lot to it. And so for instance, air law, it is the law that all airlines use, that all airlines use according to South Africa, so the South African air law, and you kind of have to learn all of that, and you have to, yeah, you just have to really learn it, memorize it, and that would count as one of your exams. So just think of it as the only reference I have is literally medical school. There is there is, practical and theory. You have to learn the theory before you go into the actual, aircraft. And besides the exams, there's also theory that you have to learn when you go into an aircraft. So if you are flying and your instructor says, okay, today we are doing straight and level, which is pretty simple. It's just keeping the plane at a straight and level altitude. Then you have to study before you get into the aircraft. Because I think most instructors, they don't want you to get into the aircraft and be completely astounded by what you have to do. So studying and flying, it goes hand in hand, whether it's exams or flight briefings. Yeah, I think that would be kind of a summary of what the theory is.
Interesting. And both aspects, they weigh the same. Like, what's the
Mm,
percentage like?
well, I think flying weighs more than the theory,
On theory.
the exams. Yes, yes. I really, because, flying, it almost becomes, if I not really, but muscle memory almost. There are some things that you're going to continually keep on doing. And at the end of the day, you are studying to fly. So the exams are very important because they explain why the plane flies, how the plane flies, where can you fly. It really explains the why to everything. But flying important is the important part. Yeah, I think it plays more of a 60-40, 40 theory, 60 flying, but also emphasizing that knowing your aircraft, knowing everything, it helps a lot and it makes you a more competent pilot. So you can't neglect um, the theory just because you know how to fly. Because if you want to be, a good pilot, you have to prioritize both. So I think, yeah.
Oh, I see. I think I concur with what you're saying. I think in everything, a healthy balance would make sense. I mean,
Mm.
um, a healthy balance would make sense. Recently I was flying a drone and I was enjoying it, and I was like, oh,
Oh, wow.
cool. I mean, I can imagine being a pilot as well. So my question would go to what do you? I don't want to say, like, I don't want you to emphasize on the negatives, but I really want to know what is it that you might not dislike, or in terms of the journey and ways you have found a way to come around it. Like when you were beginning, what are the stuffs that you were avoiding when you're starting off? And then maybe obviously you found a solution or you're still finding a solution. I mean,
Hmm. I think one of the things I was avoiding was being, if I could say, too comfortable. Because there is a lot of freedom, with choosing, your exams, and you kind of, choose how quickly you get to finish the private pilot license. So I think a mistake that I did in the beginning was I was a bit too comfortable and I didn't really prioritize the work. I just wanted to get to the flying, which is a common thing for a lot of new pilots. They just want to fly, 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 and they don't want to, sit down and and um, and focus. I think that is one mistake that I made, and I definitely did rectify it by actually like sitting down and prioritizing that. I think another thing would be so before I took my first flight, a part of Eagle Air, I took a flight 2 years ago with Eagle Air, but at an open day. And I kind of, forgot the feeling of being, in an aircraft. And, I think it's just letting your passion drive you. And when you don't feel passionate, let the discipline tap in. You have
okay,
to, yeah.
allow me to suggest that word. Let the discipline tap in. I mean, I like that. I like let the discipline
Yeah.
tap in. I've stolen that statement. I mean, yeah, I've
Yeah.
stolen that statement already. But it's a
Well,
really
you,
nice statement. Let the
yeah.
discipline tap in. You go on.
Yeah, because it's really great flying and everything, but you have to, as much as you want to show your instructor that you're capable, and that you're well prepared, you have to prove that to yourself. And so I think even being in the aircraft for my first flight with Eagle Air, I had literally printed out the Cessna 180, the cockpit, the controls. And I literally pasted it on my wall, and I was kind of like mirroring with YouTube videos so that my instructor could be impressed. I'm like, oh, wow, you know how to fly, and this is your first time. So I think, don't do it to impress your instructor, don't do it to impress your mentor, do it to show yourself that you are able and capable. Because when it comes to doing the solo, like no one's going to be there. It's just going to be you. So, you know, yeah, just practice, practice, practice. And there's not always going to be passion. Sometimes, you're not always going to be completely astounded by the subject that you're doing. And that's when you kind of have to know your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you passionate? And really just drive on that. Let that be your drive. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I can't get over the fact that let the discipline tap in. I'm just like, wow, that those are like nuggets. I mean, that's a bar. I mean,
Thank you.
that's a very good perspective. I actually believe in that. I actually believe that that's where discipline then counts in and so forth. But then, quick question: have you watched the movie Sally?
Sally.
Please tell
Like
me you did.
Sally.
As in
No.
SULLY.
No.
That's your homework. That's your homework today. Please do.
Sally. Okay.
That's your homework
I'll write
today.
it down. Definitely watch it.
Typically, that's your homework today. Because the follow up question would be, what kind of pilot do you think you're gonna become, and what kind of pilot do you think you want to become?
Rate yourself.
Not according to um what pilot do I want to become? I think looking at my mentors, I want to be someone that's just not just in the industry and flying. I want to be able to inspire people, inspire women, inspire especially Black women. You know, I've been told a lot of times, especially when I started, that, oh no, that's you're doing a man's job. And I'm like, but it's not, I'm not the first person, you know? So I definitely want to be someone who doesn't just fly, but, educates, inspires people to not just really in the flight industry, but, with any career path that you want to take, even if you're the first person in your family to really break into that path, that you should have the strength and the courage and confidence in yourself too. So I want to be a pilot that is performing beyond her limits. I don't want to just do the job and get it done and go home. I want to I want to do more than I am expected. And I think one thing that I've heard from a lot of open days is that, if you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life, which I'm hoping that will be true. But I definitely do want to inspire a lot of people. I want to inspire people. I don't just want to fly and just, do the work, but to share that journey with others that could be, following that career path.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Like I said, please do watch Sally and tell me out what you think about it. Yes,
Yeah, I will.
Google had missed you. Where,
Better
where did
dust
you
before I
disappear to?
spoil it.
Sorry?
She better dust before I spoil it for her.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
you
need
watched it, right?
to.
Yeah, I do. So it's an incredible movie. I mean, even I can contest to it. I think there's certain things that you're going to learn from there as well. But it's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna bash you for not watching it. I'll I'll say you have an opportunity to be blessed by an
Sure.
incredible film as well.
Yeah, I'll
So
definitely watch it. Yeah.
so a slight caveat.
Mm.
In your bio you spoke, or your bio speaks of you not only focusing on aviation, but you also focus in philanthropism
Yes.
rather, and you're currently heading, or you're founder of a non-profit making organization. What's that all about? Tell us this. What made you think that way, and what does your non-governmental organization do?
Yes. Kusaseka Foundation. I think, the basis of where it's from. I chose my name not because, it's my name and I want to like be in the front or anything. But, as I mentioned earlier, that, Kusasaka, it means to be beautiful. And, I strongly believe that being beautiful is not just a physical attribute, but it is an emotional, a physical attribute. So basically, where this foundation, came from was in 2011, my dad passed away from cancer. And,
Sorry for
I think
that.
I was, no, no, it's okay. And I think I was about 10 years old. Yes, no, I was 9. And a year after, I remember my sister, she had bought me a journal. And, she told me, write whatever, which is, something it's a technique that is used for a lot of people who are facing, such a situation, such a challenge. And I wrote, and I think it was 2018 when I found, I think it was 2 or 3 journals of all my writings from 2012. And it was so beautiful because I just kind of saw the transition of who I was and everything that I went through, with my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, ever since, the passing of my father. And, it kind of, made me realize that, he himself was someone that, for him being a girl dad, because he had four daughters, he was constantly making sure that we knew that we were beautiful and just not like we were not according to society standards, that we were beautiful physically, emotionally. And I think when I found that journal in 2018, I began to write again, and I changed, the style of my writing, which, you know, I started to focus on physical, mental, especially mental health and spiritual health. And I began to see from 2019, all the friends around me and all the people around me, and how much people are actually struggling with that aspect in their lives. And it's scary because I've been through it, and I know how people hide it, and I know how hard it is to kind of speak about it. And that's when I started my blog, which is www.kusaseka.com. And some of the blog posts there are blog posts from 2016, 2019, recent, 2021. And I really do, you know, I just really do want to speak about that, and want to let people know how to deal with their mental health issues, how to, deal with spiritual health, and how to become a better individual, and, how to ultimately the goal is just for us really to follow the destiny that God has planned for us. And personally, I know that if you do not, learn to pay attention to those aspects, you cannot move into your potential. So I think that is really, it's a long background story, but I think, we help by helping others. We rise by helping others. And if I overcome something and I do not help the person behind me, then what is the point of me gaining that victory? So that is basically where it comes from.
Okay. That's a lot to gather in. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, while I was listening, I mean, I'm like, wise words. I mean, whew.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's a very interesting narrative that you just gave us, and yeah, I think I think it's I don't know if it's a millennial thing. I know, like we've been given this. I don't know. It's a burden of spreading inspiration, considering that we're living in a hopeless world. Like some people are not having it easy. Some people are and some people are not. So kudos to you that you're doing this initiative. I'll definitely see if I could take time and also read some of your blog stuff. I mean, it seems interesting from the preamble that you've given me. It feels like you have written a mountain of knowledge and a mountain of experiences as well. So as we draw closer to the end of today's show, sadly, one of the things, or most of the things, we have the young people in mind, and you're quite young as well. And
Yeah.
what kind of advice would you give to let's time travel a little bit. Let's time travel. I know yeah, it could be possible, not conspiracy theories, but let's time travel at this very point, and let's visit the 19. Let's visit the 6-year-old
Okay.
Kusaseka.
Yes.
Let's say let's visit her. Imagine her. I don't want to say close your eyes, but then yeah, act as if you'll close your eyes already. I want you to imagine that 6-year-old with her dreams or ambitions or whatever she had. What kind of advice would you give her? And make it in a way that you inspire 6-year-olds right now who could accidentally bump into the stream, or they have their parents who have referred them to this. Are you still there? Okay, as I wait for internet to be stable, I want to say thank you to. I want to currently say thank you to everybody who joined in, and if you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much. Well, basically, this show is called Fly. It's called Big Sky, where we get to talk about the unlimited possibilities of aviation, and we're an educational consultancy. We basically aim to inspire, equip, and empower. So if you've joined us today, I want to say thank you for spending time with us as we were having a chat with Madam Kusaseka. Oh, she's back. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
I'm back. Sorry about
The platform is
that.
back for you. We're just warming up the seat. We're just warming up the seat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
no, it's all right. As I was saying that let's go to that 6-year-old Kusaseka and and what kind of advice would you give her? And you could make it unisex. I mean, if there's any
Yeah.
6-year-old watching this, any young
Mm,
individual, like what could you tell them in terms of aviation? Or I know that you were not thinking about it that time, but let's say you were.
yeah.
What kind of advice would you give her?
I think the advice I would give her would be one of two. And the first would be have confidence in yourself, have confidence that you can make the right decisions and that you can do this. Yes, have confidence in yourself, believe in yourself because you cannot expect to believe in yourself. You cannot expect other people to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. And I think the second would be go for it. Every every risk taken, you know, you don't want to end up living in regret because you were too afraid. So yeah, definitely take the risk. Go for it.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah.
6-year-olds, you heard it from Madam Kusaseka from the future, telling you guys to have so much confidence in yourselves.
Yeah.
And I also agree with that. I mean, confidence is the fuel that drives greatness. So
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for joining us today. You're a very
Thank you so
confident
much
young
for
lady,
having me. Thank you.
and I wish you so well. And
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, please do tell us when you definitely get that PPL, so that we
Yes.
might so that we might I might need someone to fly my private jet in the future. So obviously, I'll put you in consideration on this long list of guests I always see every day,
Yes.
every single time, every episode. But yes,
Thank you so much.
definitely. But yes, I am. I like I said in the beginning, I am always inspired when a young individual is doing great things. It reminds me of me at some particular time. So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you in whatsoever you are in diving in. Either it's aviation, either it's philanthropy. I wish you all well, and I wish everybody you're gonna meet along the way gets inspired, and and I wish you as well that you have the spirit of learning some more. When you're younger, you have the ability to grasp more than when you're older. So use this great opportunity to learn as much as you can. The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
Go and explore it.
Thank you so
And
much.
and
Thank
and
you so much for having me.
and my takeaway would be when the passion is gone, allow the discipline to tap in. That is my takeaway from today's interview.
That's your
If I have
takeaway.
forgotten anything and everything, I have not forgotten the statement. If the passion is gone, allow the discipline to tap
Yeah, the
in.
discipline.
So at this very point, I'm
Definitely.
going to
100%.
at this very point, I'm going to allow you to say any last words you want to say as we close the show. And yeah,
Okay. I think to the platform, thank you so much for having me. This is an amazing opportunity. I enjoyed my time here. Thank you so much. And I think to the viewers, I'd like to say thank you for joining. and yes, continue on your journey with confidence in yourself. And yeah, no, go for it, definitely. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, madam. And to everyone, like always, Thursday, same time, same place, same platform. The Big Sky, being hosted by Isaac Yami and my co-host Norma Gugu. It is bye from now, and we'll see you guys later at a different time. No, I'm kidding. Same time, same place,
Bye.
and interesting guests. Bye, everyone.
Bye.